What is going on, everybody? It is Big L56 here, bringing you our Week 5 battle against Coach Pardusv and the Vegas Golden Magnemites. This is the Gyarados League Battle of the Week, and both teams are 3-1. Looking to go to 4-1. And Pardus has a super scary team. If you watch the team builder, you know what we're bringing and why we're bringing it. If you did miss it, I will put an eye on the top of the screen right now to link to that. So please go check it out if you're interested in what we're bringing. I'll just run through our team real quick. We're bringing the Megalopony, Sarina, Vaporeon, Togekiss, Galvantula, and Druddigon. He brought the Rillaboom, the Raikou, Nidoking, the Mega Aerodactyl, Metagross, and Turtonator. First impressions I had at Team Preview was no Pangoro. Pangoro was super scary for me in prep. It's the whole reason Togekiss is here. I didn't really do much prep for the Turtonator. I didn't expect it to come. But the other 5 Mons, I expected all 5 of them. I definitely expected the Rillaboom, Nidoking, Mega Aerodactyl, and Metagross. And the Raikou does not surprise me at all. Vaporeon was my dedicated lead. I felt like it gave me the best matchup in the most situations. If he leads Rillaboom or Raikou, I can just go ahead and switch out. I don't really want to take anything they want to go for, but I felt like Nidoking was a really strong lead for him, or Metagross potentially. So I felt like Vaporeon gave me the best matchup against both of them. So let's get right into it. And I go ahead, I lead the Vaporeon, and he leads the Turtonator. So I don't really know what this thing wants to go for. Again, I didn't do a lot of prep for it because I didn't expect it. So I decided I'm going to go for a flip turn. And to do 9%, the only way I can do that little to him is if he is max HP, max defense. So I don't have to worry too much about his Shell Smash, I don't think. He still could be, since this thing has a pretty good special attack stat. And if it gets to +2, that it could still punch a lot of holes. So I just go out into Togekiss. I know anything that this thing wants to go for won't really do too much damage to me. And if he does pull a surprise on me, or get a crit or something like that, Ahsoka isn't that important to us since the Pokemon that I brought it for isn't here. And so he goes for a Dragon Tail. Obviously that does nothing to us since we're a Fairy type. And I decided I'm going to go for a Heat Wave right here as he switches out into Metagross. I figured either Metagross or the Mega Aerodactyl would be his switch into this. And so I thought, going for a Heat Wave would be nice since we are Serene Grace. We can, instead of having a 10% chance to burn, have a 20% chance to burn, which would be really nice on either of those Mons. And we do catch the Metagross coming in. And we get a crit through an Aqua Berry. And I know that the only way, even through Aqua Berry, that does so little is if he has max HP and a lot, if not max Spadef. So we know this thing isn't offensive just based on that damage, and that's really good information for us. I was really worried about offensive Metagross, but defensive is going to be tough for us to break as well. But here, I can't stay in. I go ahead and go out into Vaporeon as he pulls a double back into Turtonator. I don't know what he was expecting us to go into. Maybe Sarina, or maybe even the Druddigon. But we just went ahead, went out into Vaporeon as he pulled the double, and I just decided to flip turn again. I see no reason to go into anything except for Togekiss as he goes for the Dragon Tail again. So here I decide, I'm going to go for another Heat Wave. I don't really see any reason to go for anything else. He stays in and goes for Head Smash. And that does a lot of damage to us. I didn't expect that move at all. But the good news is we can take it pretty well. We outspeed this thing, and we can just go for a Roost the following turn. If he wants to stay in and go for Head Smash and kill himself with Recoil, that's fine. I'll take that because this thing, like I said, we didn't prep for it that much, and we didn't really have a whole lot of things to answer it. So I'll let it take that damage. I can take less damage next turn. I'll just Roost. If he wants to stay in and go for a Head Smash, I'll take less damage because we lose that flying typing. But he goes into the Raikou, which makes sense. I can't stay in here, so I go into Sarina. I know Sarina can take any move this thing wants to go for, and he goes for a Volt Switch, and it does a lot of damage. I did not expect it to do that much. we did the calcs, and we learned that for it to do that much damage, it has to be choice specs and it has to be modest. That's the only way it can do 29% to us. So we know this thing isn't max speed, and we know that it is choice specs. So every time it comes in, it has to lock itself into something, which is really helpful down the road. So he goes into Aerodactyl here. I don't want to stay in. So I decide I'm just going to go ahead and go out into Druddigon. As he Mega Evolves, and he goes for Stealth Rocks. I didn't expect Rocks this game. I thought he needed all 4 moves on this thing to cover everything we could potentially bring against it. So that was kind of surprising. But, you know, our Druddigon can stay at full health, and we don't have to reveal that we're Rough Skin Rocky Helmet yet. So I decided I'm just going to go for a Glare here. I didn't see a downside to it. I knew I lived any hit it wanted to go for. Even if it got a crit, I could live anything it wanted to do. So I felt like a Glare was a no drawback play. And here, I'm like, you know what? I can go for a Dragon Tail here because even though it's negative priority, I don't think he's going to want to go for a Head Smash. And if he goes for his own Dragon Tail, since he's paralyzed and I know we're faster, we'll still get to go first and we'll get to phase him out. And that's exactly what happens. We get a nice hit off, but unfortunately, it phases him out into the Nidoking, which is the one thing we really didn't want it to phase out into. I would have taken, you know, Glare or be able to get rocks, or, you know, be able to phase more stuff out if it was literally anything but the Nidoking. But unfortunately, the Nidoking does get out. But I decided to stay in anyway because I knew I could live any hit, and I thought getting a Glare off on this would be really nice. And he reveals Poison Jab, and he reveals that he's physical. So that was kind of surprising. I thought it would be special, you know, because we get things like Ice Beam and stuff like that to be able to hit us. But, you know, he's physical, and that Poison Jab did a lot of damage. But we get a nice Glare off on this. So I decided to go out into Vaporeon, as he goes for a Toxic Spikes, which, again, really surprised me. I didn't think Hazards would be that big of a thing this week. But it's unfortunate because, you know, my Togekiss doesn't really want to switch in on those rocks, and neither does my Galvantula, because neither of them have the heavy-duty boots. So, but we can defog them away with Togekiss. So I decide, you know, I'm just going to go for a Wish here. I decided to Wish up, as he goes for another Poison Jab, and that does more than I thought it would. So instead of being able to pass that Wish to the Sarina or the Druddigon, I have to stay in and just take the Wish myself, which is kind of a bummer. So I stay in. I went for Protect there to guarantee myself the Wish and get it, but it fails. So I decided I'm going to Protect here. I'm going to see what he wants to go for, because maybe he'll, you know, lock himself into Shadow Ball or a Sphere potentially. Or even go for a Scald, predicting me to switch out, and then I know I can wall this thing. But he does just go ahead and lock himself into the Volt Switch. So here I make kind of a ballsy play. I decide I'm going to stay in. I decide I can take this. I really want to try to pass this Wish to something and heal something up. So that's what I do. I go for the Wish. And he went out to the one Mon that, though, I couldn't just protect and heal myself back up because I was afraid of setup on this thing. I didn't want it to go for a bulk up or a Swords Dance. That's the last thing I wanted to see happen. So I decide I'm just going to hard switch out, not go for a flip turn, and go into Sarina as he goes for the Leech Seed, which revealed to me that he wasn't the Choice Band set. And that was a set that I was really, really scared of. I thought that's the set he would bring. But this also made me really, really wary of setup. That's the one upside to the Choice Band set, is no setup. But the Leech Seed's nice. That tells me that he might be a bulkier set. You know, want to get that Leech Seed and Grassy Terrain recovery. He might be potentially leftovers. And that tells me he can't be a Salt Vest, which is really nice for later in the game. So here, I just decide, I get the Wish. I get back to pretty healthy. And here I just decide I'm just going to go for a Trop Kick, as he goes for a U-turn and does a good amount of damage to us. And I go for a Trop Kick, and we catch the Mega Aerodactyl. Nothing he wanted to switch in on this. Really wanted to take that Trop Kick. I figured it would either be the Mega Aerodactyl, the Metagross, or the Nidoking. And especially the Nidoking, I really don't mind the Trop Kick on the Nidoking now that we know it's physical. I would have taken it if it was special, just because that damage would have been nice. But we get the Trop Kick off, and at -1, this thing is nowhere near as threatening as it normally is. But I decide, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and stay in here, because unless he has dual Wing Beat, he can't kill me at -1. And even if he does have dual Wing Beat, he has to hit it first, and he has to get 2 hits with it to kill me. So I decided I'm just going to go for a U-turn. And I've already got damage on this thing that I need. And at this low of health, Sarina isn't as good of a wall as I want it to be. So if it does go down, it goes down. I'm not really that concerned about it. But he goes ahead and pulls a switch out, and we get some extra little chip on Nidoking, which is really, really nice. And we go out into Togekiss. Here, I decide, you know what, Togekiss, what you're here for isn't here. And you've gotten some chip damage on the Metagross, and if you can get rid of hazards, I'll take that. I will, at this point, I'm willing to trade Togekiss for getting rid of the hazards. So I go ahead and go for the Defog here, because I want to get rid of these hazards. And unfortunately for him, he gets fully paralyzed on this turn, which I don't know what he went for. If he had gone for a Poison Jab on that turn, he does KO me, that's unfortunate for him. And so at this point, I'm just like, okay, if he's letting this, I'll take this thing. I'll take damage on this thing. I'm in here. I'm letting Togekiss go down at this point, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go for Heat Wave. I'll take damage on this thing. That gets it in range of Mega Lopunny, and he goes for Toxic Spikes. So that kind of confused me. I thought he'd claim the kill here, but to me, that says, you know, him wanting Toxic Spikes up is more important to him than having the Nidoking around, and I'll definitely take that. We don't switch into Nidoking very well, obviously. We didn't switch into Nidoqueen very well last week, so being able to get rid of this thing is really, really big, and you know, I'll go ahead and take that for sure. So we stay in, we go for the Heat Wave, and we take out the Nidoking, and Togekiss gets the first KO of the game. So we're back to full health, which is really nice. He goes out into Raikou. I can't stay in. I decide, you know what, Sarina, you're probably my most expendable member at this point. He goes for a T-Bolt, and I know we can't take another one of those. I'm content to just let Sarina go down. I'm assuming this next turn that he was predicting us to maybe switch out into Vaporeon or Druddigon. I don't know why he made this switch. Maybe he was predicting us to go to Druddigon. But I just stayed in, and I decided, like, I'm going to go for a Synthesis. If for some reason he doesn't kill me, I can get back up to a good amount of health, and Sarina's still got a little bit of use if it gets healthier. So that's what I do. I go for Synthesis, and we get a little bit healthy. And we're sitting in front of a Mon that we can easily KO with a knockoff. So I decided to stay in. I'm going to take a knockoff and claim that KO. And Sarina, who at this point I've put in and was going to let it go down twice, and it claims a KO on a Pokemon on his team that we didn't really prep for, so that was huge. And we're back at about 45%, so I think it's got some usefulness. So he goes out to Mega Aerodactyl as I switch into Druddigon. Again, I'm letting this thing go down here. He goes for the Hone Claws, which was super scary. I click Glare here. I didn't plan to live this turn, but I figured, you know, maybe he tries to set up again. But I knew that with Nidoking down, at the damage that I've already gotten on it, Galvantula could just come in and Volt Switch to revenge this thing anytime it needed to. So I can play the revenge game since I am up 2 Mons. So I'm content to just let Druddigon go down. You know, it's done its job. And he goes for the dual Wing Beat, which surprised me. And between 2 hits, Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet, that Aerodactyl knocks itself out, which is huge. We limited the 2 biggest threats to our team that we felt like to 1 kill each, which is absolutely huge for us. And now we're up 5 Mons to 3, and I decide, you know what, I feel like Sarina is my best Pokemon to lead out here. And I know there's nothing this Raikou can go for that can Oko me. I calced Shadow Ball. I didn't calc Aura Sphere, but I knew that there was nothing he could go for that could Oko me. So I went ahead and went for the U-turn because damage on this Raikou was really, really important, because I know that since it's choice specs, it can't outspeed Mega Lopunny. And at full health, it lived to close combat from Mega Lopunny, even if it was just max speed, max special attack modest. I think close combat's max roll was like 94%. So getting some damage off on this was really huge. So I decided I'm just going to go out into Sarina, and I'm going to click U-turn, get myself in a good position as he does go for the Aura Sphere. I knew that couldn't kill. I go for the U-turn, and that U-turn does beautiful damage. It's the damage we needed so Mega Lopunny could come in and click close combat and hit something really, really hard. So we go out into Mega Lopunny, we take the poison, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. Health on this thing isn't important. We click close combat, and we get a huge chunk of damage off on this Metagross, not Mega Metagross, sorry. Mega Metagross would be busted. So here, I switch out. I was worried about Bullet Punch here. I didn't want a crit on Bullet Punch with me at -1 defense. I didn't know if that would kill. I didn't calc it, but I just didn't want to take any chances. So I decided to go out in Sarina and just sack it here. And he goes for the Zen Headbutt and KOs Sarina, but Sarina definitely did its job this week. So here I just go out into Galvantula. I know he can't outspeed this. I probably made a misplay here. I probably could have just clicked Bug Buzz right here. But Rillaboom Grassy Glide probably could have worn me down late game. But I clicked Volt Switch just because I figured that was the safest play, because at that point I wasn't thinking about differential. I was thinking, how do I lose this game? And I figured I lost this game by playing recklessly with Galvantula. Because if you look at what he's got left, nothing really wants to take Bug Buzzes from this thing. And Raikou is Specs and not Scarf. I know I outspeed it, so I know I can get 2 hits off on it while he cannot Oko me. So I just go for the Volt Switch, and I decide I'm going to go out into Vaporeon. Vaporeon has a bad matchup against both the Mons he has left. There's no reason for me to keep Vaporeon around. Vaporeon did its job. It ate some hits, and he goes for Volt Switch. I just let Vaporeon go down, like I said, as he has to go out into the Rillaboom. Galvantula can come in right now. Just click Bug Buzz and live any hit this thing wants to go for. As he didn't click Grassy Glide, I thought he might click Grassy Glide there just to get some chip damage off, because a Specs Thunderbolt will still do a good chunk of damage. It won't KO us from full, but it'll still do a good chunk of damage. But we get the nice KO with Bug Buzz there, as he has to go into the Raikou. That's his last Pokemon left. And we go for Bug Buzz, do about 45%, 47%, and he goes for Thunderbolt. It doesn't do enough. And Galvantula was able to hang on after the poison damage with the grassy terrain recovery and another Bug Buzz. And that's GG to Pardusv. Excuse me. We played really, really well this game. I felt like we played around the Mega Aerodactyl super well. We made that ballsy decision to stay in with Sarina. That was big. Druddigan came through. It was really nice to see Druddigan not get confused on turn 1 and actually able to do its thing, get a couple glares off. Togekiss did fantastic work considering the Mon that I brought it for didn't even come. Mega Lopunny has kind of been carrying our team offensively so far this season. So to be able to get a nice 3-0 against a really good team and a good battler, with Mega Lopunny only hitting the field 1 time and getting 0 kills, is really nice. So it shows the league, hey, you got to pay attention to more than just Mega Lopunny on my team. He didn't play. Druddigan gave him a lot of problems. He said in the Discord after the match that he was not prepared for Druddigan at all, and that he over-prepared for Heatran. which is kind of what we were hoping. If you watch the team builder, we mentioned in the team builder that we hoped that he would over prepare for Heatran. Heatran was pretty good against his team. I didn't bring it because I didn't like that even with a Scarf, it couldn't outspeed Mega Aerodactyl, and Mega Aerodactyl could just kill us every time with Earthquake. But we played well, and he did he said he prepped a lot for Volcarona, so the Druddigan was a really nice bring. But that moves us to 4-1 on the season, and 4-1 is a great record in this league. Pardusv, I definitely, if we're lucky enough to make playoffs, hang on to this record. I could definitely see a rematch with Pardusv in the playoffs if we're lucky enough to be there. He's got a fantastic team. He's a great battler. Like I said before, you don't win 2 WPF titles on accident, and that's exactly what he's done. So you know he's a really good battler, and we'll take that. So we finally are able to win one of these battles of the week, which is really nice. And 4-1 with a plus, I believe that moves us up to a plus 11 differential, is nothing to sneeze at. Please, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. All the other content creators in the WPF are going to be linked down below, as well as a link to the Discord. So if you're not from there and you want to check it out, feel free to come in, check us out. We're a really chill server. Maybe we'll have a coaching spot open up. Maybe you just want to hang out. Maybe you want to apply next season. Those are all really cool. It's a really chill server. A lot of cool people. And we will check you guys later. See you later.